Good to see you guys up here finally. So what I've got to do here, this is the coupling that connects the two sections of 10-foot pipe. And these need to be torqued to 30 pounds. So I'm going to check on my wrench here. Between 25 and 30 foot-pounds. So I've got it on 30. And let's continue with torquing these up. Move them along equally, tighten. That was quite loose. Again, to take on any project, anything that you want to build or make, you've got to have the right tool. So for example, got to have this torque wrench to be able to complete this task in this project here. You got to enjoy wanting to do a few of these things too. I consider this essentially to be my hobby, doing these kinds of things. And so over the course of 20 plus years, I've accumulated a lot of tools. To get all these tools in one shot would be quite an outlay. I'd like to hear a click here eventually. This is getting quite tough. Oh. Yep. Got it there. That click. There we go. I'm impressed that we tightened them pretty much at the same rate. Now, I'm going to bend over, grab my level, and wrench, and see how we're doing in terms of how level this heating pipe is. It can have a minor slope. I think it's about 1 inch over 20 feet. So we're going to go down and tighten that turnbuckle down there. This one is good. Just trying to think to myself, is everything else tightened while we're up here? That's tight. That's where it needs to be. I think what I'll do while I'm here is duck down, get the heat shield for this section, and get that one in place. I think I'm going to put you guys back on the floor for this one, because this is quite a big piece to have to lift up here. And these are the heat reflectors, and I think they also act as a kind of shield, obviously, to prevent the heat from going to the ceiling. A lot of sharp edges. So that's what it's going to start to look like. That piece there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to install the end cap on that one there. And then adjust that hanger, get the second shield up, and then put the straps for the deflectors in place. Okay, I've been able to get a decent amount of work done today. So the end cap is in place there. The tube is heated with a slight, less than an inch over 10 feet slope going in that direction, which is as per instructions. The coupling on the pipe is torqued. Each of those bolts is torqued to 30 foot-pounds. The strap is in place there. Now, what's interesting about this strap here is that there are screws, set screws, to hold those two deflector shields in place there. And this strap holding the deflector shield or reflector shield in place, but the screws are not tied down. This allows for the expansion. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I read that this 20-foot tube here with the coupling will expand anywhere from 6 to 9 inches under heat, under load. So there's quite a bit of expansion and contraction due to the heat and the cooling off period. So there we go. Oh, and the end cap's in place here. What I'm going to do before I go home today is get the hanger system in place over here for this set of pipes here, which being the exhaust, that'll eventually go at the wall there. And one more thing to show you at this end of the machine where the cold air, fresh air intake comes in. I've installed the semi-rigid expansion arm, about a foot of that. And again, as the unit moves back and forth due to the heat expansion, you need that semi-rigid expansion joint in place there. And the cold air is going to come in from up in the attic. The next step in the process of getting this heating system up and running is going to be to cut open my access point right up there for the attic. I need to get in there because there's going to be a fresh air draw. I'm going to need to go get myself a 4-inch saw bit, because it'll come out and then go up through the roof and get cold air out of the attic, fresh air in the attic. So let's get that opened up. I'll put you guys on time lapse for this exercise. I've built this attic hatch. Can everybody see it there? A couple of crude handles on this side. 1/2-inch plywood left over from... Actually, I think my friend passed that to me. All right, it's kind of heavy. Let's get it up there now. I've installed the cold air intake, so you can see I've gone through the ceiling there. Just did a 90-degree elbow on the galvanized 4-inch pipe and a semi-rigid flexible from the 90 into the heating box, and that allows for expansion of the unit up and down that way, and that will expand as I've been told, and that's why that's there. I now have to head up the ladder here because I need to put a top end on that cold air intake. So I'm going to crawl up there, take you guys up there with me. I don't know how much you're going to see because I think it is pretty dark up there now. I may have to put you guys down while I do the climbing, just because it's not safe to climb and hold several objects. Let's see what happens here. Into the darkness. It is chilly up here, I can tell you that. Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to see much here. Okay. You guys able to see? So I'm going to get over there and put this on to that. I'm having a look around while I'm up here as well to take a look at the quality of the insulation from this side. I've not been up here since the job was done, and I'm just checking to see that the ventilation is in place and working. It looks like it is. All the baffles. It's hard to see it way out there on the sides, but you see the daylight coming up from the edges over there. Those are the baffles. Okay, I'm going to turn you guys off for now because I don't think you're seeing much up here. A little bit of an eerie situation there. Okay, hang on a second, everybody. Okay, that cold air intake for the heating box, there's the name of the company there, the initials RHD. Beautiful looking system. A few more things and that's going to be ready to be hooked up by the gas fitters probably by end of tomorrow, but I actually think the gas fitters, the earliest they're going to come is Friday this week or early the following week. Today's the coldest day in this 2-week stretch that we're in right now, so inside it's probably 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, outside 0. This 10-foot pipe is part of the exhaust system. It is not part of the heating system supplied by the manufacturer. I had to go out and buy this as per or by the instructions provided in the instruction manual. It is 28 gauge, if I remember correctly, rated for this type of heat exposure. And you can see this 10-foot pipe doesn't quite make it to the wall where I'm going to put a hole and add a thimble. I made a hanger for this exhaust pipe using an eye bolt, an eye lag bolt, as well as some chain that I had lying around in the shop. We're staring at the wall here because I now need to mark up and create the location where the wall thimble is going to go. I've got the radio playing in the background over by the door, so just ignore that. So, gonna get the scaffolding over here, get up there, start to mark things up. I made several measurements and now I'm quite certain where I need to be putting this hole in the wall, and first a hole in the insulation. You can see it there. I have it located. I'm now removing the insulation in this area so I can have access to the metal siding. I was hoping to avoid the girt, but the second that the insulation came down, I could see that I'm going to have to remove part of this girt to get the thimble in place. Got to set the blade to 1 3/8 depth. Take the battery off until I get that set. Battery's out. Take that one down for charge, and we'll use this one from the drawer, which is actually the bigger battery. Finish this. Definitely worked. I don't think I went through the steel. It's always nice. Let's see if I've cut it wide enough. So on the thimble, so you can see it's a thimble, a guard to keep the insulation materials and other combustibles away from the heat of the pipe. And it's got these tabs. I'm going to try to slide this up and see if I measured this correctly. I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to get a cover for the outside. I've got a groove on the bottom of this level. I'll run this along my pipe, exhaust pipe, up against the steel there. See if I like the location. Right along the top center of the pipe. Snug. We want it to be snug. There's where that hole needs to be, right there. Outside of the building. That was pretty quick and easy. All right. There we go. I think we've got it. Got a nice little slope there, heading out. Let the condensation drip out. That's what I would advise to do. Dry fit looks good. So we're going to take this apart and start to assemble it. And in terms of, I need to build out a little bit of a frame here to attach this to. Okay, I like it. All right, we're going to be working with some high temperature, heavy duty silicone caulking. 500 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 85. So what I need to do is caulk and secure that joint there. And on this pipe here, I'm going to caulk this entire seam. And then when I get the boot for the outside, I'll caulk the outside with this silicone as well. I finished off the last few steps inside here. Didn't have the camera running, unfortunately, but let me show you what I've got here. If we turn it around, do a little zoom there. So the exhaust pipe, completed it with a 5-foot section that obviously runs through the wall. I have the thimble installed. All the insulation is back in place. And then what's going to happen either later this week or early the following week is that the gas lines will be hooked up to the tanks, which are outside the building, at the corner of the building. I'll go outside and show you there in a second. Pipes are going to either run the outside length of the building or inside here, and then cut across and connect up into the back of the box over here. It's time for somebody else, a gas professional, to come in here and connect it. Let's go outside and I'll show you what I've got going on out there. Here we are coming around the back of the building. Outdoor storage. Ladder. There are the tanks. There's the company that I've rented the tanks from, Lavac. So some piping to be connected here, taking the gas inside, obviously. And here is the outside of the building. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's the exhaust. The towel's there so that my ladder doesn't scratch the side of the building. I have a boot on order, so that when that comes, I'll just slide the boot over the remaining section of the pipe that exits the building there. Make it look a little tidier than just a cut hole through the wall like that. The project is nearly completed in the sense that I've done all I can do for this project. and the remaining work is to be done by a professional pipe fitter, gas fitter, whatever the title is for those individuals. And then we'll have heat inside the building for the winter. Really looking forward. Hey Pat, it's all up and running. Heat is flowing down over my head as I speak. Huge smile on my face. This is awesome. And you can see they run the gas right up beside there. They're just finishing up. They're doing some painting outside, and obviously they've got their pipe fitting tools to clean up. But this is awesome. It's fantastic. It's a really quiet unit, but you can see the lights on there. Pipe fitting's all done, and great heat coming off of this right now. Big smile on my face. Exhaust out the back end of the building. The system is working flawlessly. Brought the temperature up very quickly to 65 degrees the second day I was in there. Fantastic piece of equipment. Subscribe, like, and share. And remember to check out Reflected Heat Designs website. And happy dog.